European Union ministers will look on Friday into ways of stemming the flow of migrants who set sail for Europe from Libya and elsewhere in North Africa. The meeting comes after a deal with Turkey, which has cut arrivals via Greece to a trickle. The EU fears the central Mediterranean route to Italy may become the main one now, as calmer seas encourage more people to try the perilous journey. The EU is also worried about the long-term impact of massive migration from Africa. It is considering linking development aid and trade ties with poor states to them, keeping a lid on migration. The meeting will also discuss Libya, where a UN-backed government is trying to establish itself while people smugglers operate freely. Right now, let's get you more on this meeting. CCTV's Jack Barton now joins us live from Brussels. Jack, what is coming out of the meeting so far, and what can we expect in terms of options to stem the flow of migrants to Europe?
Well, it's very clear already at this point that this is the first meeting in a few years that has really focused on Africa, particularly North Africa, as opposed to Turkey, where there is now an EU-Turkey agreement in place. And from the perspective of Brussels, that appears to be working. The number of migrants and asylum seekers travelling via Turkey, mostly into Greece, has dropped dramatically. Now, it appears so far this year, 45,000 people have travelled from Africa, and that's about the total for the entirety of 2015. So they're going to be discussing this new proposal by the European Commission to offer incentives to some countries. They're talking about starting at around $9 billion, but we're told today that could move up somewhere around $65 billion in incentives to get countries to take back people who've travelled to Europe, but also to try and introduce schemes that could encourage people to stay. But also, on the other hand, they're going to be discussing perhaps limiting aid and perhaps even trade to those countries that refuse to get a part of this scheme. So that's going to be the main discussion today.
And Jack, what is the latest on the Eritrean national who was suspected of having trafficked other migrants in Europe? Are European officials now looking into the claims that they nabbed the wrong man?
They are. That's what we've heard from the Italian police. The latest is they are investigating that this case of Mr. Madani Mered, an Eritrean national who is believed to have operated a smuggling ring running from Africa up through Libya into Europe, but also is believed to have been connected to a sinking of a boat back in 2013 that led to the loss of 359 lives. Now, police are saying they are investigating these claims from some friends that this is a man who looks similar, has the same first name, but is in fact not the man they're looking for. But we've also just heard from the Italian prosecutor's office that they do believe the investigation led them to the right man. And they're still saying this is the operator of the smuggling gang known as the General. If it's not, it's clearly going to be a big embarrassment for the Italian police and Europe in general as it tries to find ways to really stem the flow, or the increasing flow again, of people travelling through Libya into Europe.
Jack, thank you very much for speaking to us here on Africa Live. CCTV's Jack Barton joining us live from Brussels.